Good morning and namaste, everybody. We had a special request from the Vedanta Society of Houston that to give a special talk on the Song of the Sannyasin. So that's why I'm going to do it. It's, of course, my favorite poem. The history is that Swami Vivekananda, after the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, he came to New York, established the Vedanta Society of New York, and gave talks there. By 1895 summer, he was quite exhausted. Mrs. Dutcher, one of the American devotees, suggested that let's go to a place where the Swami can have rest, and it's a tradition in New York to go away in summer. Even now it's there. I'm here because of that tradition, because the Vedanta Society of New York is actually closed in summer, July and August. So she said that I have a cottage in Thousand Island Park, which is on the St. Lawrence River. It's on the US Canadian border, and a very beautiful place. Most of the year it is frozen over, but in summer it's spectacularly beautiful. There are cruises. You can see there's hundreds and hundreds of little islands. There's one island which is tiny island, but one part of it is in USA, other part is in Canada. So, and they'll take you on a tour. The captain of the tour ship, he says the silliest questions I ever got from my audience. And he announces the two-nation tour, and somebody asked, which are the two nations? On two sides. So Swami Vivekananda, with a small group of disciples, most of them American ladies, they went to this place and stayed in that cottage. And although it was supposed to be a vacation, some of Swami Vivekananda's choicest teachings, the best teachings, were given there to this very small group of disciples. I think he was at his soaring best there. And luckily, some notes were taken down, and those notes are available to us now as the inspired talk. That's only part of it. The lady who took down the notes, she says that at times I just had to put down my pen and listen to him. So that part is lost, but some parts are available, and it's really inspiring. I urge all of you to read the inspired talk. And at the heart of it was this poem, the Song of the Sannyasin. At one point, Swami Vivekananda, who stayed for about 6 weeks there, Thousand Island Park, if you go there, you'll see a plaque that this is where Swami Vivekananda landed. And the cottage is there. It's very beautiful. At one point, Swami Vivekananda, he rushed off to his room in the middle of the teaching. And then in one flurry of writing, he had written the song. It was written in a creative, I guess, in a frenzy of creativity, just inspired. It's a favorite among devotees, among the monks, of course. There's a little bit of history more to it. The poem was copied and sent off and published. What happened was, many decades later, Swami Nikhilananda, who was in New York in the early 1950s, he got information that this cottage, it's now ruined. Nobody stays there. It's going to be sold off for firewood. So he decided to acquire it. And he acquired the cottage for $1,000. So he got it. It was completely in ruins, of course. But he decided to remodel it and build it up back and make it a retreat center. And then they found in that place itself, there was an old carpenter, elderly gentleman, who had worked on Miss Dutcher's cottage, on that building. And he knew what it looked like during Swami Vivekananda's time. So he said, I can make it just like that again. And he started working on it, with, of course, many other people. When they were working on it, remodeling it, in the rubbish, this is more than 60 years after Swami Vivekananda, or more than 50 years, somebody found the manuscript of this poem, the original written by Swami Vivekananda, as if it was still there. It had been copied and sent to, of course, it had been published already long ago. But the original manuscript in Swami Vivekananda's hand, that was there. It's as if it was waiting there for 50 years. Of course, it's now in the archives in Belur Mutt. And it's been published also. There's a book in which you can see Swami Vivekananda's original handwriting, also the small corrections here and there which he made. That's the history. I remember whenever people ask me, why are you a monk? What are you trying to do by this kind of a life? I send them this poem. I say, I cannot explain any better than this. You read this. Now, before we go into it, it is the Song of the Sannyasin. It is the ideal of sannyasa life. So is it for everybody? Yes. Anybody who wants to be a spiritual seeker, who is a spiritual seeker, for them, this is the ideal. Now, the Sannyasin embodies it or tries to embody it to the fullest extent. We try to do that in our lives. But if you're a householder, you embody the ideal. Internally, one must be monk-like. Does one have to be a monk to be enlightened? Yes and no. No, formally no. Notice, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, the rishis of the Upanishads, many of them were householders and they're fully enlightened. Bhagavad Gita, the teacher Sri Krishna, was a householder and Arjuna was a householder. And after the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna continued to be a householder. Among the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, you see the monastic disciples here, but they were equally any number of householder disciples and both men and women, and all were enlightened. Don't mix up enlightenment with sannyasa. Enlightenment, God realization is the goal. It's open for everybody, young and old, householder and monk, Indian, non-Indian, white, brown, yellow, whoever. All people have the possibility of enlightenment. It is possible. One should, in fact, try to realize God in this very life. That's the goal for everybody. Anybody who wants to become God realized. One sadhu in Uttarakhand, I remember, he asked the group of people there who were listening to him in Hindi, he asked, Sannyasi ka lakshan kya hai? What is the unique characteristic of a monk? Somebody said, Brahma Gyan, the realization of Brahman, and the teacher said, no, wo to sabko ho sakta hai. Grihasth bhi Brahma Gyani hai. There are many Grihasthas who are Brahma Gyani. So the unique characteristic of a sadhu is renunciation, tyaga. Is renunciation, internal and external. I'll tell you one more story, then I'll start. There is this very funny but instructive incident. A young man came to be a monk in Belur Mutt, and Swami Madhavanandaji at that time was a general secretary. And this young man, Madhavanji, asked him, you want to be a monk? He used to speak fast. You want to be a monk? Sadhu Habe, you want to be a monk? What have you read? And the young man said, I've read Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And the Swami replied, Kathamrita Praja Sadhu Habe. Go. Right. You've read the Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you want to be a sadhu? No, go. The young man looked stunned and he walked away. And then other monks around also were puzzled. They said, what's wrong? He has read the Kathamrita, why can't he be a sadhu? And he said, well, what do you have to read to be a sadhu? So preliminary reading. And Swami Madhavanji said, of course you have to read Swami Vivekananda, the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, if you want to be a monk. Then another monk asked, was puzzled. Oh, I see. To be a monk, you have to read Vivekananda. But then what will happen if you read the Kathamrita? And Madhavanji said, oh, Kathamrita, Gospel, if you read that, you will realize God. That's what will happen. Which means there's a particular unique characteristic of Vivekananda's teachings here, especially Song of the Sannyasin. I know a number of monks who recite this daily. It's been translated into Hindi, Bengali, many languages. Some beautiful translations are available, but English was the original language in which Swami Vivekananda composed it.